Hello and welcome to the 27th episode of Total Drama Multiverse. This is our final 3 episode, y'all. Next Monday, we will end the game show portion of the season, and next Wednesday, season 1 will be over. There will be 29 episodes, 30 if you include the episode 0. And then the week after we'll start season 2. So I think that's pretty crazy. But let's get into our pre-challenge section. So we have 3 campers left, obviously. We have Luz. Luz has come a pretty long way. She started as just some nerdy kid who was about to get shipped off to summer camp. She has no friends, and wants to be a witch, but obviously magic doesn't exist where she's from. Now, not only can she do fire magic, but she has a ton of friends, as you saw in the last episode, and she has people who truly care about her besides her mom and her dead dad, obviously. So yeah, she's come a long way. She's gone through a lot of arcs this season with other contestants, and overall, I think she definitely deserves her spot here. There's also Dipper. Dipper has gone through not nearly as much social game, but a lot more strategic game. He's worked with a lot of the strategic competitors, but when it comes to drama, he definitely had some with Fritz. And now, ever since there hasn't really been anybody to be the big person in charge, Dipper has started running the game these past few episodes, but we'll see if he can make it to our final 2 and then win. However, because of this, he's alienated a lot of people, as you saw in the last challenge, and a lot of people don't like him as much. And finally, we have Monica. Monica came into this season a complete freak, a disgusting, deranged psychopath who would kill her friends if it meant she could get closer to a boy she liked. She came out of this season with a boyfriend, but also with a new purpose in life and a lot better life. She's definitely improved herself a lot. And now she's going to be a superhero, which is crazy for her, but we'll see if she can make it. Now we can talk about our relationships between these 3 characters. First, we'll talk about Luz and Dipper. Luz and Dipper worked together for a little bit, and Dipper still has Luz believing the lie that it was Peter that flipped and got Toph out, when it was in reality Dipper. And Luz is pretty loyal to Dipper at this point, but they're not friends or anything. As for Dipper and Monica, Dipper is basically just messing with Monica, pissing her off because he knows that if Monica crashes out at Dipper or at him, then she's gonna make Luz not like Monica more. And then we have our final relationship here is Luz and Monica, who Monica still is desperately trying to get Luz to tell or to show that Luz is wrong and that it was Dipper who lived, but Luz just can't believe it, or doesn't believe it. And after what happened at the end of the last challenge, Monica's pretty much given up, and she's just decided she has to win for herself now because Luz is too stupid. Yeah, that's gonna do it for our pre-challenge section. But we'll get into our challenge now. Now, our challenge sounds simple, but we'll get to it. So this challenge is Challenge 23, Ravaged Ruins. The final 3 must enter the ruins of the base the head scientist built all of those weeks ago. Inside, they must fight each other with anything they can find, with the end goal being to send somebody to reality 0, eliminating them from the competition. That's right. Nobody will be voted out for the remainder of the season. Votes are done. This is, they have to push someone into the 0 point, which is already locked in on reality 0, so they won't just die. Once they do that, they will be sent to reality 0, where Peely will send them home. And Peely, Hope, and Jones, rather. So first, I want to talk about everything that's in the ruins before we get into our challenge. So over the past 26 episodes, we've had a lot of times where this place has come up. We had it come up in obviously all the lore episodes, all 4 of them. We had it come up in a few different challenges, especially the ones when Peely was still in the competition. It was in your final fall, I think it was in that episode. It's been a presence throughout the season, and because of that, we obviously know there is the holding cells, the prison cells. There is the main area. There is where the 0 point is held. There is the office section, which we haven't actually really been to, but this section does have Chris's office now, because Chris moved into it, so that's important. Chris's office is in this, as well as near the 0 point is the armory, which had stuff like Jinx's minigun and Star's wand, but obviously those aren't there anymore, but there's still other stuff there. Some pretty interesting stuff is over there. So each of the 3 of them enter at a different area. Chris has Luz enter through the offices. Dipper enters through the ruins and of like the cells. It's all kind of ruined, but the cells are the most ruined. And Monica enters right next to the Dipper goes right next to the 0 point and the armory and all that. Monica goes to the ruins of the cells. There we go. So, at first, everyone is just kind of sneakily going around. Not too much is happening. I think Dipper definitely goes straight into the armory. Now, there's not too much in the armory left, but some of the stuff in there is like pretty insane stuff. For example, Thanos' gauntlet is there. However, Dipper touches it and realizes, okay, that will kill me if I try to use that. So he can't use any of the Infinity Stones, and neither can Luz and Monica, obviously. There's just a lot of guns in there, swords. There's and these can all be references to other stuff, but it doesn't matter too much. And there's a bunch of different things in there. There's bombs, all kinds of stuff. Some more of those bombs that Scary Girl and Chris used way back when are in there as well. So all that Dipper ends up grabbing is Dipper grabs one of those crazy bombs, and Dipper also, like the antimatter bombs, I think is what they're called. And he also grabs a SCAR, like a Fortnite SCAR, a assault rifle. And then he leaves the armory. By the way, 1-Up mushrooms are on standby. Monica is sticking around the ruins, and obviously because of that, she's just like, it cuts to confessional, and she's just saying her goal is just to hide. She doesn't want to have to deal with Dipper or Luz because for as long as she can. She thinks best case scenario is they both find each other and have to fight each other. Because what would probably happen is Dipper wants a Dipper-Luz finale. So Dipper would hold back, and then hopefully Luz would get that. But worst case scenario, or take that opportunity and get Dipper out. Worst case scenario, Dipper and Luz team up on Monica. So Monica is hiding there for now, but she's debating on whether she should go. As for Luz is going through all the offices when eventually she finds a locked door. But this door is unmarked, and she's like, wait, this might be if you can lock this door, maybe this is a good hiding spot. So what she does is she ends up lock-picking the door, because of course she can do that. It was like a hairpin or something, I don't know. Although her hair is kind of short to have one of those on standby, but I don't know, she's a girl, most of them do. Well, she opens the door, and Chris is in there, and he's like, this room's off limits. And Luz is like, my bad, why are you in here? And Chris is like, this is my office, this is where I edit the videos. and Luz looks behind him, and he's like, wait, you can't look at all that. And behind him is a bunch of clips from the whole thing, the whole series so far. He's editing like compilations of crazy moments. But right in the center is a moment that Chris accidentally presses play on his keyboard, and it's Dipper and Confessional talking about, man, this is too easy. First I got Toph out, then Peter, or then Agatha, then Peter. This flipping game is just, like, I don't understand how these people can be so stupid. And Chris pauses it, and he's like, you know what? That does make the game more interesting. And he shoves Luz out of the room, and he's like, all right, good luck, and slams the door in her face. And Luz is like, oh my gosh, there's no way. She was telling the truth this whole time. So Luz finds out about Dipper, and this leads to Monica, and Monica is just sitting there when she's like, ugh, I've been here for like 3 hours. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go try to get some stuff from the armory. And she leaves to the armory, and she's about to get into she gets into the main 0 point room when she gets shot in the back, and by Dipper. And Dipper laughs maniacally, and comes and says, you were the only thing standing in my way. He starts monologuing, because that's something Dipper would definitely do. You were the only thing standing in my way of the money, or of the wish, rather. And now, after you're gone, I can easily destroy Luz in the finale, and I will win. And there's nothing you can do about it. And Monica glitches away, like she's like actually hurt, but she glitches away. And then he's like, yeah, run away, coward. And then Monica glitches on top of him and starts choking him. Remember, she hanged him before, so in the virtual game, way back when. So she tries to do that again, and Dipper ends up shooting her. He puts the AR behind, shoots her face. Her face cracks again, because of course it does, and she's like actually in a crazy amount of pain. And Dipper's like, all right, well, I guess this is where we gotta end it. And he pulls out the antimatter grenade. Monica's just on the ground. She can't do anything at this point. She's trying to glitch, but she's just lagging when she tries to glitch around. And he runs to the other side of the room and gets ready to pull it, when out of the shadows, Luz comes from behind and hits him in the back of the head with, yes, Harley Quinn's baseball bat, what she found in the armory. Dipper does not get knocked out somehow, but it hurts him bad. I guess Luz still has her weak nerve arms. And he turns around and he's like, why would you do that? We have a final 2 block. And Luz is like, well, we might have that, but you got out Toph. And Dipper, getting pissed, is like, who told you that? And Monica is on the ground and just starts laughing like crazy, while Luz swings again and again, and Dipper starts trying to shoot at her, but Luz dodges and pulls out a 1-up mushroom out of her pocket that she found in the place, and chucks it, or in the armory, and chucks it over to Monica, bringing Monica back to normal. And both of them, after that, Luz swings around, hits the AR out of Dipper's hand, and both of them walk up to him. He's like, wait, guys, we can talk about this, right? And Monica and Luz are like, I think we've talked enough. And they both pick him up, and they one picks him up by the arms, one picks him up by the legs, and they both go, all right, they're hoisting him. 3, 2, 1, and they yeet him straight into the 0 point, as he screams no. And he gets eliminated, meaning our final 2 is Luz and Monica. Now you might be thinking, that's the end of the video, right? If there's no elimination ceremony, which I still have this tab up here. I'm going to change it to something else in the next episode. But if there's no elimination ceremony, what else do we have to do? Actually, we can't delete this. Well, we have our post-challenge section, of course. So let me bring down Monica and Luz, as they are just celebrating. Luz apologizes to Monica. Monica apologizes to Luz. They're celebrating. And then it cuts to Dipper. And Dipper obviously is like, he's flying through the reality quantum physics bullshit, and he ends up hitting the ground. And he's like, I can't believe it. I was so close. And he stands up, thinking he's gonna see Peely, but instead he sees Agatha. And Dipper is confused. She's like, Agatha, what are you doing here? And she's like, shut up, asshole, he'll hear us. And she grabs Dipper by the shirt, and he's like, wait, and teleports away, because she heard somebody coming. And they're both teleported onto a pipe on the roof, and Dipper's just holding on so he doesn't fall and die. And Agatha's like, watch. And he looks down and he gasps as he sees Peely, Jones, and Hope all tied up, and not able to do anything. And because of that, they're mocked heavily by the person who walks in, which is the head scientist. The head scientist walks in and mocks all of them, saying how funny it is that these three were chosen to be the protectors of all worlds when it was so easy to defeat them. After them getting distracted with the game show. And the three of them are all just incredibly embarrassed of how bad they handled the situation. And then, out of nowhere, the head scientist says, you know, they always say, if you want something done right, you should do it yourself, don't they, Agatha? And Agatha gasps. At this point, she looks to Dipper for help, but he's running across the pipe. He runs away from her. And he goes and hides. And what happens is the head scientist says, well, I actually don't agree with that. Instead, I looked to somebody you might remember, for help. And Agatha's like, oh no, who? And he says, just a little demon named Malik. And Malik appears in front of Agatha. Here, let me move these three down here because they're all tied up. He appears in front of Agatha and forces her down from the pole. And she's now right in front of them. Dipper is hiding and can see everything, and obviously the other three are tied up, so they can't do anything. But they can still see what's going on. And Malik says, or the head scientist says, you know, I actually wasn't going to tell Malik anything. You know this. But instead of going and killing Chris, you decided to not only team up with him, but get on his game show and become friends with somebody on the game show. How did you screw up that bad, Agatha? And she's like, well, Malik's like, you know, dear, I've taken care of you for the past, 100 years, and you treat me like this? You know how I am. You know that I will take a deal with just about anybody. So, I'll give you a choice. Either you go and you kill both Chris and Monica, or you not only will have 10 years, and you will have 10 years of freedom in whatever reality you want, and I'll claim both Chris and Monica's soul, or I'll take the head scientist's deal. We also still don't know the head scientist's name. He won't reveal it to anybody. Actually, Malik probably knows his name, but he's not going to say it. And she's like, well, what's the head scientist deal? The head scientist deal is also for Chris's soul, but instead of Monica, it's for yours. and I will claim both your and Chris's soul. And the head scientist will get 10 years of being awarded for all the discoveries, becoming the new president, screw Trump, all that, and he'll get 10 years of that. And Agatha's like, well, you know what? No, I'm not doing this anymore. You've controlled, or I had people control my life, all of my life, and then even after I was murdered, you've controlled me since then. So I'm done listening to you. I'm going back to my reality, or to my new reality. And Malik's like, you can't go back to that stupid game show. Chris will just send you back here. And Agatha's like, that's not where I'm going. And she's like, then where? And Agatha's like, I'm not telling you. So Agatha teleports away as Malik tries to grab her and the head scientist. Then teleports and grabs Dipper, who pretty much everyone could actually see, but nobody really cared about him. Teleports again and grabs the other these three. She has big hands. And runs into the 0-point calibration thing that they have to send people back to their realities. And at this point, it sends up a force field because they're used to being attacked on while trying to use it. They extremely strong multiversal force field that Malik can't penetrate, even though he's a demon. And the head scientist and Malik are starting to are trying to do it, and it ends up starting to crack. But Agatha slices through all of these three's ropes, and they're able to turn it on. And they're like, "Where are we going?" And Agatha's like, "I don't know what reality it is, but can we please go to find Izuku?" And they're like, "You know what? That's a good idea." So the five of them all ripped away, leaving the head scientist and Malik infuriated. And they both are going to try, because the force field goes down right after they leave, but they're both going to try to go take over everything, because Malik accepts the head scientist's deal. So Malik is going to try to get Agatha and Chris killed, and then everything else. But two last things before we end the episode. We have Agatha, here, I'll move them down here. We have Agatha, Dipper, Hope, Agent Peely, and Jones. And all of them appear at the front door of UA High. And obviously they aren't let in, but Izuku is called to the front office to go see what they want. And Izuku sees all these people, which he knows, obviously, especially Agatha. And he's like, what's going on? Do y'all need me for another challenge? I thought we just did one. And they're like, no. They're trying to kill Chris. They're trying to kill me. This is Agatha talking. And they're trying to kill Monica. And Izuku's like, that's enough said. And he goes to change into his suit. So, crazy lore, am I right, y'all? I'll move all these off screen, but I'm really happy with how the lore is going. Now, when it comes to our final two contestants, we still will have their finale, don't worry. But these two are pretty much who I think people wanted to see the most. I saw a lot of people were getting mad at Dipper, and not liking, not that they didn't like the character and what I did with the character, but just not thinking he should win. Kind of like how you hate Heather, right? You probably hate Heather, but she's a great character. But you don't, obviously, you don't want Dipper to win. I don't want Dipper to win season 1 of Total Drama Multiverse. So, I had him get eliminated here. I've seen a lot of support for Luz over this entire season. And I've seen a lot of support for Monica as well. So I guess y'all will have to wait till next time to see both who will win Total Drama Multiverse, and also what's going to go down with Agatha, Izuku, Malik, the head scientist, Chris, Dipper, Jones, Hope, Peely, Luz, Monica, and everybody else. So tune in next time for the finale of the game show, and then tune in on Wednesday next week for the finale of Total Drama Multiverse. See y'all.